You opened this video. It probably took less than 2 seconds. It felt effortless, almost instant. But before this image reached your screen, something extraordinary happened. Your device searched for a network. The network located a route. Routers exchanged information. Servers received a request. Security systems verified the connection. Databases located the content. Cloud infrastructure prepared the response. Thousands of invisible decisions happened before you noticed anything at all. And this isn't unique to YouTube. It happens every time you send a message, every time you search on Google, every time you open an application, every time you buy something online. The internet performs billions of these journeys every single day, quietly, reliably, almost invisibly. Most people believe they use websites. In reality, they use systems. Systems designed so well that nobody notices they exist. And perhaps that is the greatest achievement of modern technology, because the most important machine ever built is one that almost nobody can see. People often describe the internet using what they can see: a website, a mobile application, a search engine, an online store, a video platform, a social network. Those experiences feel complete, but they are only the visible layer. Imagine standing in front of a skyscraper. You admire the glass, the architecture, the lights, the design. Yet none of those things keep the building alive. Behind every wall, another world exists. Electrical systems, water systems, ventilation, elevators, steel structures, emergency controls. Thousands of components working together without asking for attention. The internet follows exactly the same principle. Every website is only the front entrance. Behind it, millions of invisible operations continue without interruption. Requests travel across continents. Information moves through oceans. Servers communicate with other servers. Applications exchange data. Automated systems solve problems before humans even notice they exist. That is why the internet feels simple, not because it is simple, but because extraordinary complexity has been carefully hidden behind an effortless experience. And that raises an important question. If the internet is built on invisible systems, what are those systems actually doing? Because once you understand them, you begin to see the internet very differently.
Every civilization depends on infrastructure. Roads, bridges, power grids, water systems. Most people never think about them until they stop working. The internet follows the same rule. Every message, every purchase, every video, every search depends on infrastructure, invisible infrastructure, built across countries, across oceans, across continents. Millions of kilometers of fiber optic cables quietly move information around the planet. Thousands of facilities process requests every second. Millions of servers continuously exchange data. Everything appears effortless because complexity has been hidden behind simplicity. That illusion is intentional. Technology succeeds when people no longer notice the technology. But beneath every click, another world is constantly moving, a world most users never see. And understanding that world changes the way you understand the internet itself.
Behind every modern website,
4 invisible layers quietly work together. The first layer is physical infrastructure: fiber optic cables, routers, switches, satellites, data centers. Without this layer, nothing can move. The second layer is computing. Servers receive requests. Processors execute instructions. Memory stores temporary information. Storage preserves permanent data. Cloud platforms distribute workloads around the world. The third layer is software: applications, databases, authentication, encryption, business logic, everything users eventually experience. And finally comes automation, the invisible workforce of the modern internet. Systems communicating with systems, applications responding automatically, traffic balancing itself, threats detected in real time, backups created without human intervention, resources expanding automatically as demand increases. Most people believe the internet works because someone is always watching. The reality is very different. The internet works because millions of automated systems never stop watching.
While entire cities fall asleep, the internet remains awake. Servers continue processing requests. Security systems continue monitoring activity. Cloud platforms continue distributing workloads. Databases continue synchronizing information. Content continues moving between continents. Payments continue being verified. Artificial intelligence continues analyzing data. Nothing pauses. Nothing waits until morning, because digital infrastructure was never designed for business hours. It was designed for continuity. Every second, millions of people open websites. Millions send messages. Millions stream videos. Millions complete transactions. Each request begins another invisible journey. Most journeys finish successfully, not because they are simple, but because countless systems quietly cooperate. Reliability is rarely created by one powerful machine. It is created by thousands of ordinary systems working together, again and again and again. The internet appears intelligent because cooperation creates the illusion of simplicity. And perhaps that is the most remarkable part. The largest machine humanity has ever built does not look like a machine at all. It looks like everyday life.
The internet serves billions of people every day, every hour, every second. And yet, most of the time, it simply works. That reliability is not an accident. It is architecture. Modern infrastructure is designed around one assumption: something will eventually fail. A server will stop responding. A cable will be damaged. A data center will lose power. A network will become overloaded. Failure is expected, not feared. That single idea changes everything. Instead of building one perfect machine, engineers build thousands of smaller systems. Independent, distributed, redundant. If one component disappears, another quietly takes its place. Most users never notice, because resilience is designed to be invisible. The strongest infrastructure is not the fastest. It is the one that continues operating when something goes wrong.
Many people imagine the internet as a giant computer. It isn't. It behaves more like a living network. Information constantly changes direction. Traffic continuously adapts. Resources move where they are needed. New servers appear. Old servers disappear. Cloud platforms expand automatically. Applications shift workloads across continents. Nothing remains completely fixed. Everything is constantly adjusting. Not because someone is giving orders, but because thousands of independent systems continuously cooperate. That cooperation creates flexibility, and flexibility creates resilience. The internet survives because it is always changing.
People celebrate internet speed, faster downloads, lower latency, instant loading. But speed is only the visible outcome. Behind every fast website, countless optimizations quietly happen. Content is stored closer to users. Traffic is balanced across servers. Requests avoid unnecessary distance. Files are compressed. Images are optimized. Databases answer only what is necessary. Automation predicts demand before demand actually arrives. The result feels simple. Open a page. Everything loads. But simplicity is manufactured. Every second saved on your screen is the result of thousands of invisible decisions happening somewhere else. That is the philosophy behind modern infrastructure. Do the difficult work before the user ever notices it. The internet does not create businesses. Infrastructure does. Every successful online company depends on systems that customers rarely see. Authentication, payments, analytics, automation, security, backups, monitoring, scalability, documentation. Without these systems, growth eventually stops. Customers experience the front end. Businesses survive because of the back end. That difference explains why some companies continue growing while others disappear. The visible product attracts attention. The invisible architecture protects the future. Because success on the internet is rarely determined by what people can see. It is determined by everything they never notice.
The internet is often described as a network, a technology, a platform. But perhaps it is something else. Perhaps the internet is a machine that manufactures trust. Every successful request strengthens confidence. Every completed payment reinforces reliability. Every delivered message confirms expectation. People return because the systems continue working, day after day, year after year. Most users never inspect the architecture. They simply trust the outcome. And trust is built one successful interaction at a time. Not through marketing, not through design, but through invisible consistency. That is the real product of modern infrastructure. Not websites, not applications, not platforms. Trust. Because without trust, the internet would simply become a collection of disconnected computers.
Perhaps we have been looking at the internet the wrong way. We see websites, but websites are only interfaces. We see applications, but applications are only experiences. We see businesses, but businesses are only outcomes. Beneath every visible layer, another system exists. Infrastructure, automation, architecture, redundancy, reliability. The internet is not one invention. It is millions of inventions working together, quietly, continuously, without demanding recognition. That is why the internet feels effortless, not because it lacks complexity, but because complexity has been carefully organized. The greatest engineering achievement is making extraordinary systems feel completely ordinary.
Modern digital companies rarely build everything themselves. They assemble proven components, reliable frameworks, production-ready interfaces, scalable administration systems, automation modules, infrastructure templates, development accelerators, not because they cannot build them, but because time is also infrastructure. Every hour saved can be invested somewhere else. Innovation rarely begins with a blank page. It begins with a solid foundation. For viewers interested in exploring the kinds of production-ready resources used throughout today's digital ecosystem, additional references can be found in the description below. The next time you open a website, pause for a moment. Look beyond the interface. Imagine everything happening beneath the surface. The cables, the servers, the cloud, the automation, the invisible decisions. Because once you begin seeing systems, you never look at technology the same way again. If you enjoy exploring the architecture behind the modern internet, subscribe to Nexnet and tell us in the comments, which invisible system should we uncover next?
Civilizations are remembered by the infrastructure they leave behind. Roads, bridges, libraries, power grids. Today, humanity is building something different, an invisible civilization, constructed from information, connected by light, sustained by systems. Every search, every message, every transaction, every website becomes another small part of that living network. Most people will never see it because they are not supposed to. The strongest systems are the ones that quietly disappear into everyday life. And perhaps that is the future of technology, not becoming more visible, but becoming so reliable that we forget it was ever there. This is Nexnet, where we explore the invisible architecture behind the modern internet. Until next time, keep looking beyond the screen.